Satnam, and welcome. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another program in our ongoing series, Your Miracle Mantra Moment. And today, it marks the 1-year anniversary of us doing these programs. So I hope that we can congratulate each other on being here for each other. And we're going to talk a little bit about the year and explore the ways that the challenges of this year have also borne the fruit of some blessings, or at least some gifts. So I encourage you to please put your name and where you are living or where you're logged in from in the comments section. And in just a moment, we're going to start chanting the shabad Dhan Ramdas Guru Jinsiriya Tene Savarya. And after that, then I'm going to get into speaking with you and see if we can sort of get some dialogue going about understanding this past 12 months and what we have gained and what we have lost and that kind of thing. So great to see some of the regulars logging in. Kiran Deepkaur and Surinder, welcome. And any of the others that are here. Great to see you all. So we're going to start chanting. Now, as I have said in the past, and maybe you might not remember, or maybe this is your first time chanting with us for this particular program. So I like to suggest to people that there are 2 ways that you can do this. You can simply perhaps meditate as you sing along, chant along, sitting comfortably. Or you can, and if you need to use the words, they are in the comments section if you need to refer to them. But if you don't need the words, then you can be just within yourself and letting the sound current, the nod of the shabad, connect deeply with you. But there's another way you can do that, or practice this shabad, and that is to do it as a meditation with a particular technique where there's a mudra, and you take your right thumb up in the air, and you wrap your left hand around it like a fist, but just gently. And then you take your right fingers and bring them up around the back of your left hand. So let me do that again. Right thumb is up, left hand wraps around the right thumb, and then the right fingers come up along the back. And it's gentle, you don't have to squeeze it, right? And you just hold that position at your heart center with your spine straight and your eyes closed. And when we're doing it this way, with this mudra, then it's a particular practice focused on releasing fear of the future. So as much as today is about sort of reflecting on the past 12 months specifically, we are also going to, let things go and not hold on to the negative feelings of the past. Let go of whatever fear we might have for what's next. So it's appropriate both ways. And then, of course, part of this focus in this program is about connecting to the miracle that is available within Gurbani, within specifically this shabad about Guru Ramdas, in praise of Guru Ramdas. Of course, it's also mentioning the other three gurus before. But essentially it's focused on the energy of the humility and the compassion and the healing and the miracle of Guru Ram Das, of the potential of connecting to that. So while we chant, you may want to hold that in your mind. And sometimes, when there's a particular challenge or a particular situation that certainly could use some divine grace, then holding that in as a kind of side piece in your meditative mind will be appropriate too. Or a person perhaps who needs help. So let's, without further ado, let's get into the chanting. So please join me. Guru Ramdas Guru Jin Siriya Tinne Sarvaya Jin Siriya Tinne Sarvaya Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Holy, holy Karmata Apasir Janhare Karya Holy, holy Karmata Apasir Janhare Karya Sikhi Ate Samgati Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakarya Sikhi Ate Samgati Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakarya Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakarya Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakarya Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Jin Siriya Tinne Sarvaya Jin Siriya Tinne Sarvaya Ramdas Guru Ramdas ਅਤਲ ਅਟਲ ਅਤੋਲ ਤੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਅੰਤਰ ਪਾਰ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਅਤਲ ਅਟਲ ਅਤੋਲ ਤੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਅੰਤਰ ਪਾਰ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਜਿਨੀ ਤੂੰ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਸੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਉਤਾਰਿਆ ਜਿਨੀ ਤੂੰ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਬਹੁਤਾਰ ਸੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਉਤਾਰਿਆ ਸੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਉਤਾਰਿਆ ਸੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਉਤਾਰਿਆ Ramadas Guru Ramadas Guru Jin Siriya Tinne Samaniya Jin Siriya Tinne Ramadas Guru Ramadas Guru Ramadas Guru Kande tun sapar variya lam lom kam krodh moh man kande tun sapar variya tan so tera सच तेरा पैसकारिया तन सो तेरा तन है सच तेरा पैसकारिया सच तेरा Ramadas Guru Ramadas Guru Jin Siriya Tinne Samaniya Jin Siriya Tinne Samaniya Ramadas Guru नानक को रहना तू है गुर अमृत तो विचारिया नानक को रहना तू है गुर अमृत तो Tatman Sadariya Guru Tatman Sadariya Guru Tatman Sadariya Guru Tatman All right. Thank you for joining me in that process. I'm going to move the harmonium out of the way and get the computer in here a little closer. All right. Great to see all of you here. Teresina, Sandra, Alex, Viru, Mahan, Sangeet, and as I said earlier, Kirandeep and Inderkor, and Sita Bhakti from Germany, Aman Singh from California, and yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the login name from Mexico, Satnam Waiguru, from Guanajuato. I don't even, sorry, my Spanish is terrible, so please forgive me there. And Surinder, of course, we already said thank you for putting all the words there in the comments. So, those of you who are new to this program, what we often do is discuss something after we've chanted the shabad. And so, you know, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. But I have also some questions I want to ask of you. So I'm going to share my screen here with a document. Sunny, welcome, or Sunny Harbat, welcome. Oh, I see, sorry. Hari Narayan Kaur, yes, welcome. Anyway, let me bring up this first question I want to talk about. All right, so the question is, in relation to this last 12 months where the whole world has been experiencing the challenge of a pandemic, basically. And I just want to get to hear from you a little bit about what are some of the challenges that you particularly can relate to from that, and maybe not the obvious ones, but maybe if you can just in the comments drop in a few suggestions of a challenge that's been difficult for you in your life. I'm hoping that some of you take the time to do that. It'll be helpful. So while I'm waiting for some brave soul to go ahead and put that in the comments, okay. Teresina is from Curitiba, Brazil. Nice. I've been there. It's been a few years, but yes, it's very lovely. Anyway, so the challenges, of course, are somewhat, maybe you were isolated, away from family. I certainly can relate to that. It was a whole year before I could see my grandkids. And, you know, my wife and I are now fully vaccinated, and we waited until we had that in place, and then we felt comfortable seeing our grandkids. And, you know, that was a big challenge. Let's see. Yeah, so Harinarayan Kaur is mentioning that the question of, you know, to vaccinate or not to vaccinate, when perhaps in the past you've always chosen not to, for whatever reason. And I don't want to make this a discussion about that issue, but it is a challenge for people, you know, trying to weigh the various information pieces that there are to that puzzle. So, all right, and Alicia is saying, where are you? Being alone, just with myself and trying to accept isolation. Yeah, I mean, many of us have a partner in our life, or maybe we formed a pod with some people and that helped us get through this, but there were millions of people who were on their own. And, you know, my heart goes out to you, Alicia, and so many others about how that challenge must have been. Yeah, Deep is saying, having to be responsible for parents and stay in a loving state, I guess. Yeah, parents, children, you know, it's all challenging when you feel responsible for a family group and you need to take care of them and reach out to them. Maybe they're close at hand, maybe they're further away, but nonetheless, you know, it's been a challenge to play our part in perhaps family dynamics, to stay even in our emotional reactivity to all the stuff that's going on, but stay in a very loving relationship with those people who are important to us. It's hard. Definitely been a very hard thing. And Sandra says loneliness. I can't see my friends. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can see them through Zoom or Facebook, FaceTime or something, but it's not the same. I agree. I have definitely a lot of friends that I would love to spend time with, and we've had a couple of outdoor patio visits, and you know, that's not too bad. Helps. And as those of you who are perhaps getting the vaccine soon, if not already, I think that will give you a bigger doorway to something is happening. Okay, we're back. Sorry, looked like we were having technical issues. But Kirandeep was saying shopping, and wow, it's less for me now because I'm vaccinated, but it certainly was for a while. I didn't want to go in any stores. I live in a remote area, so home delivery of groceries is not something that's possible. So then trying to arrange, as the time went on, trying to arrange curbside pickup wherever possible, where a lot of stores didn't have that prior to the pandemic and took some time to institute it. But it really helped a lot. Inderkar is saying, big challenge with my job because I work with a handicapped person and it's a real challenge. Listening to car music, it is more easy. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing the track of understanding what you're saying there, Inderkar, but absolutely for people who have to work in person, there are lots of us who, are blessed in that we can work from home, but all of those people who couldn't do that had to be in person. That was a challenge, feeling somewhat unsafe and yet trying their best to be safe, and yeah, big challenges. So I want to pause on this question now, because I have some other questions to get to, but I think we're getting a little taste of all the challenges that we've probably, all of us, felt at different times during this year. And I'm going to bring this process sort of back into a circular place as we get further along. But let me get to the next question. So, what unexpected gifts have you received during the past year? So, when you have an idea of that, go ahead and put it in the comments. I have to say that there have been gifts for me. Time to be a little more quiet. Time to take some inner time. But also, I am blessed to be in an area where I can get out into nature. So if that's maybe where you are, then, appreciating nature has been, I think, a really big thing for a lot of people. Getting out for walks or exercising outdoors, whatever you could do, that was, for me, a big gift in having that time and space to be in nature and a little more quiet. Margaret is saying support from my family. That was, yeah, so isn't it wonderful how even though we may have seen our family more often in a normal year, I bet we all talk to our family more often. I think of many family members who I have spent time talking to on the phone that I might not have made the effort to do so much in a normal year. So that is a great blessing. I can bring these up. Let's see here. Hold on. So Kirandeep is also saying, oh, okay, meaning me, I guess, and programs like this, connection, community, new friendships, new community, new sangat, a feeling of being supported and being connected is really a great gift. Yes, I agree. And Cassandra is saying, more time with family, more time to practice. Great. And being able to see people clearly and who they are, their fears, their struggles, and what they believe. Yeah, thank you, Cassandra. It has been a year where maybe we take a little more time with those relationships. We allow the communication to flow a little more deeply and understand one another a little more. So isn't that a wonderful thing? Let's see, we've got, Margaret is saying, I learned to grow microgreens, cress of different vegetables. Yeah. Learning things in general, but certainly learning to grow food has been a great thing. Doing gardening, getting out and finding ways to use our energy to generate and grow food for ourselves, our community, our family, whatever, has been a great gift. But learning things, learning an instrument, a musical instrument, getting around to learning language or studying something that is meaningful to you that you may not have taken time for in a normal year. Very much. And Cassandra is saying that everyone became more transparent. Yes, I think people were more willing when we came together in a shared experience of the pandemic, the shared concern around that, and it bonded us in ways that we might not have done otherwise. So yes, became more transparent. I like that. Let's see, Indikar is saying many information, lecture, music, news from the danger of internet, and it's a precious gift, all this exchange. Yeah, exactly. More communication on the internet because we're not going out and having a chance to do it, but we're finding ways to do it online. Exactly. And I have forgotten your name. Hold on. Where did you post it? Sorry. Sita Bhakti. Thank you. Sorry for your... anyway, Sita Bhakti is saying, for me it was and is new access to meditation, intense spiritual experiences, and spiritual guidance. Yeah. I mean, reaching out to find practices or meditations or just listen to a lecture from someone online. A lot of people have had more time to do that, and maybe rather than just surfing the latest hot YouTube or TikTok, making an effort to find content that was meaningful. So, yeah. Let's see. Sandra is saying, I had the opportunity to participate in more spiritual activities and connected with my family. Yeah, very much. And Indrakar is kind of agreeing, Sangat community through the internet, yeah. And, sorry, Sunny Harvest, forgetting your name. Where is it? Amrita Angad. Thank you. Amrita Angad. No, that's Kathleen, sorry. There you are. Hari Narayan. Hari Narayan Kaur is saying, December 2019, I moved my residence before the whole COVID situation came about, and I'm living in an area with nature all around and truly blessed by this. Yeah, what great timing. Let's see. And you're also mentioning that there were Zoom classes for Kundalini Yoga, so that was helpful. That's great. And I'm going to take the last answer here from Cassandra. I found that I completely thrived. While the whole world was seemingly falling apart, I stood strong, and it made me appreciate my practice so much more. It allowed me to see the depth of how far... Yeah, I can't see more right now, but, oh, there it is. How far I have come. It allowed me to see that external factors don't have to destabilize me and my inner truth. Great. That's a great lesson that I think many of us have learned in this year, to be more independent, to be self-contained, and find strength there. Social activity is very life-giving, but it doesn't mean that when we are, for whatever reason, not able to do that, that we need to fall apart. So absolutely, Cassandra, I agree with you. All right, let's look at the next question. What did you lose during the past year? This may be a little difficult for some people. It's a little difficult for me. I lost a dear friend, a friend that I had known for 40 years who died of COVID. And of course I wasn't able to be there. We did talk a week before he died. He was in the hospital. But, you know, there are losses during this period too. I think that for me, because I have had access to the internet and been able to stay close with so many other people in my life, that may be the only loss I can think of. But I bet you guys have some wonderful things. So let's see what, let's see. Well, I'm just going to answer this quick question. Cassandra is saying, this is so fun, I just stumbled upon this. How do I join from the beginning next week? Well, Cassandra, it's recorded anyway, but that would be viewing it after the fact, not live. But to view these or participate in these programs live, they are available both through YouTube, that's where you're logged in from, on the Sikh Dharma International YouTube channel at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I forget where you are logged in from, but on Wednesdays. So we have a variety of different programs. So next week we have a different program, and you can see along the bottom of the screen that there's a message about that. But that's how you do it. And also on the Sikh Dharma International Facebook page, it's there live also. Thank you, Margaret, for saying sorry to hear that. A call from Inderkar. Nobody else lost anything. Is that true? Or you just not sure you want to share that right now? Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, we can say other things. We lost the opportunities of doing some things. I lost the opportunities of, for instance, being with my grandkids that whole year in person. I love to play music with other people. For me, playing music by myself is okay, but playing music with other people is the bomb. You know, that's why I play music. So, yeah, not getting to do that, that was a little challenging, that I lost that. Okay, let's see. We've got some. So Cassandra is saying, great, I could use, oh, okay, that's just about these programs. Let's go to Inderkar. My time with unspiritual things. But hope it will come back, I guess. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure anything is actually unspiritual. Just, you know, I don't want to judge things, but I get your point. Things maybe like going dancing or, I don't know, going out to restaurants. I miss that too. Sandra is saying that she quit her job. Yeah, some people have gone through big changes during this time. And, you know, that can be sometimes a good thing or it can be a challenge. So let's see. And Kirandeep is saying walks. Yes, sounds weird because that's one thing most people were able to do, but I could not. Well, you've created a mystery there, Kirandeep. We'll all be wondering why during the pandemic you could not. But I guess, you know, depending on the locale, the location of where you live, and the severity of whatever lockdown may have been implemented by the local government, perhaps you weren't able to go outside. I spoke with a friend who was in Majorca during the first part of the pandemic, and I said to him, you know, this is great, you're in Majorca, it's beautiful, it must be so nice to be stuck somewhere, it must be nice to be in a beautiful place. He says, well, yes, but the lockdown is so severe that we can't even go out of our apartment. So I can relate to you, Kirandeep, if that's what the situation is there. And All right, let's go on to the next question. Let's see. But what did you gain during this past year? And we've talked a little bit about, some good things that have come, but I can say I gained weight. I gained a few pounds this year. What about you? What did you gain during this year? I think I gained a perspective. Being forced to be more quiet, forced to be, at home. Most years, the year before, I was traveling almost every month somewhere. So forcing us to stay home has also given us something, I think. I talked about being more in tune with nature, but there's also something about being more in tune with home, more nurtured, allowing ourselves to be more nurtured by the place we call home. And Inderkar, I'm not able to translate that completely. Patience, I guess, maybe, and tolerance in myself. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. And she's also added here, peace in my heart. Very nice. That's a nice thing to gain, And Mahan Sangeet is saying, me too, wait, but also gained a lot of calm and peace. Yeah, it's ironic that as disturbing as it was to watch the pandemic raging around the world, there was also a sense of, as I said, kind of being at the home place and being settled and being still within that space helped us to feel, I think, a sense of peace and calm. So, yeah. And Margaret is saying, I agree, I appreciate my garden even more. Yeah, exactly. And Sandra is saying that she gained more meditation. And perhaps she gained the realization that it's enjoyable to be by yourself. Excuse me. All right, let's move on to the next question. By the way, I want to thank you all this is a great participation on your part. So, next question is, what have you done or given for the benefit of others during the past year? And, maybe this doesn't apply to all of you, but maybe there's something that you've done or participated in donating for or something that has helped people who are struggling through this time, struggling with food scarcity or loss of income or whatever. I have a friend who owns a restaurant, and it's a high-end restaurant, and they were forced to close down to only do takeout food. But, and he said by doing that, he was able to keep the staff keep them employed. And he said that often the tips that people would leave when they picked up their takeaway order vastly outweighed the price of the food, because people were trying to support those restaurant workers to make sure that they could survive through this time, so that they're there when the pandemic comes to an end and people can be in restaurants again. So, that kind of giving is wonderful. Let's see what let's see. Yeah, I haven't seen any replies in this one yet. Maybe it's not resonating with you so much, but um, oh, okay, here we go. Um, yeah, Hari Narayan, thank you for putting your name in the text. It helps. Hari Narayan, Meals on Wheels for elderly and shut-in people. Yeah, so making donations to community programs like that, whether it's money or time. Um, in my local community, we have a program that prepares bags of food that children can eat without having to cook. Because it was identified that in this area there are children who go home, they have a breakfast at school, they have a lunch at school, but after school they may go home and there may not be food at home. So the idea was to prepare these bags that the children could take home, and it would be, bread and peanut butter and healthy snacks, fruit and things. So fortunately that program is continuing, and the children's families can pick up that food from the schools. But that kind of program to help people through this time is very important. I have friends up in Maine who run a program that has been providing food for people who are challenged in that regard. And what a wonderful thing to participate in. Let's see. We've got Inderkar saying, my time and money for animal rescue. Yeah, the animals sometimes get forgotten about. And even there are people who, when they are challenged in their own ability to survive, if they have a pet, sometimes they can't take care of it and they abandon the pet. So supporting animal rescue is a good idea. Margaret is saying, I'm creating YouTube videos to show whole food, vegan, tasty dishes for people to improve their health. And God, how many people have watched a cooking video this year, staying home, trying to eat healthier, trying to learn something about how to cook healthier. So thank you, Margaret, and all those other cooking people who have done those kind of videos that help people learn how to take care of themselves better. Yeah, it's great. Wait, sure, Cassandra. Let's see. Cassandra's saying, I gained more organizational skills and control over my house. Lots of purging. I bet we've all become a lot more expertise in Zoom. When we first started this 12 months ago, we all knew a little bit about conferencing, perhaps. Maybe we had spent some time using different conferencing platforms. But certainly Zoom has, I don't own stock on Zoom, I'm not promoting it, but we do find that so many people have been using Zoom for work and for things like this. So yes, definitely a big thing that we've gotten better at. Let's see. Cassandra's going on saying that gained a sense of structure over my home and able to take care of my kids and all by myself independently with no help whatsoever. Well, congratulations. I know that that's a big challenge. And yet, I think maybe every one of us has probably cleaned out a closet or reorganized the kitchen sometime over the last 12 months based on having just a little more time at home and maybe needing that sense of order. So, yes. Yeah, and Cassandra's saying just sort of shopping and meditation for parents. Nice, yeah. Doing things for people who are older, definitely something that was a great idea. Cassandra, you're saying trust in self, that's been a benefit, yeah. But yeah, more about self stuff. All right, let's go on to the next question. Let me see where our time is. Yeah, we've only got about 10 minutes left, so let me go, let's see. I think we can skip that one. So this is maybe an important one. What goals for changes within yourself were you perhaps unable to achieve? Because the next question is, what goals for change within yourself were you able to achieve? So I'm going to just leave both of those open to talk about. So either something you weren't able to do or something you were able to do, but it was about your own inner work, something that you were able to make time for perhaps, or something that as much as you thought you had time for, it didn't come together. So I think that the goals that we set for ourselves changed a lot. Once it became clear that the pandemic was something, maybe April, more May, I think, the month of May, perhaps, when it became clear that this wasn't going to be a quick thing, that it wasn't going to be over just in a few weeks or even a couple of months. Then by May, I think people were starting to reevaluate what goals they could perhaps even hope to do during that year. And, all of us had maybe some travel goals. We were hoping to go to a country that we'd never been to, or see some culture, or go to a Broadway show, or we had some goals that we were going to do in 2020 that then we weren't able to. But maybe it's more about inner goals, and I think that may be something that many of us maybe reevaluated and started to think more about, well, what can I achieve during this time? Having more time at home, having more time with myself, in nature, on the mat, whatever it might have been for you, maybe that raised the idea that you could really step up your practice, or maybe for you it was learning to read Japji Sahib or some other Gurbani, that you were able to pursue that this past 12 years. So let's see, anybody got anything? Let's see, Indrakar is saying sadhana every day, but my body getting stronger too. Yeah, that's great. And Cassandra meditated so that I could be neutral and stable. Yeah, that was a great goal to achieve. And I'll take this last one. I started to take singing lessons on Skype and love it so much, made me understand the joy of using my voice and my breath. Well, congratulations. Yeah. As much as singing is kind of an outward thing, it also has an incredible effect on your inner self, giving you a sense of power or agency in the world, giving you more confidence with yourself. And I hope that Mahan Sangeet, when pandemic is over for you, that you can take that experience of singing and join with other people, and I think you'll find it even more rewarding. So that's great. Now I'm going to sort of take us into our final stage of this. What did you learn about time for this past year? I know I really learned a lot about time. How slowly time can go, or sometimes how fast time can go. how I can use time, or how sometimes I feel at the mercy of time. So understanding time, I'm not saying I've completely arrived there. Maybe it's not a goal that's real, but being in an accepting place of understanding the way time works in our lives. So let's see what you've got to say. Anybody got something on that? And if you do, I'm going to read it in a moment. Oh, here we go. Sandra is saying, spend more time with my family, practice Kundalini yoga, and meditate more. Yeah, so spending time. You know, we spend money, but spending time means like you have so much time in a day, let's say, and how are you going to allocate enough time that you feel like you are getting something, understanding something, being with somebody, however that investment of your time can be interpreted, learning to understand your time differently. I think that's been something that's come forward this year. And yes, here Indrakar is saying time is so precious to us and for good purpose. Exactly. And Mon Sangeet is saying, for me, time slips through my fingers. And I think we all experience that. And maybe there's other times when we feel like we're controlling that flow of time in a beneficial way, either beneficial for us, beneficial for others. And last thing on this time, okay, Kirandeep, not being able to go to Amritsar, New Mexico. All right, and last couple of questions here as we wrap up. Is there any connection between your ability to help others and the help that you have received? And I feel like when we reach out to others and offer help, that it opens a kind of cosmic doorway, that also help flows toward us, that it's a kind of balance, that as we give, we also receive. So has that been something that you can identify in your life this past year? And then the last question here is in what ways will you be or do things differently based on all these experiences that we've been talking about this past year? What is the takeaway, basically? What changed for you after this year? So that's a big question, and I'm going to take a few extra minutes. Normally we would wrap up on the hour, but I'm going to extend a little longer just because I think this is an important question to get to. Sorry, getting texts and messages and all kinds of things right on the hour. Just anyway, so what things are you going to be doing differently, or how are you going to be in your world differently? Be with your family, be with your friends, be with your work colleagues, just in general, what's going to be different for you? So some of you may be typing, and I understand that. Last chance to get something in this discussion. I know that for me, I'm going to endeavor to be more able to listen and more willing to slow down with people, with activities in general, to appreciate them more in the moment. I found when I did see my grandchildren after a year of not seeing them, I appreciated every moment, and I tried not to allow distractions to enter into that time. And I think that's a wonderful thing, to be more present in what you do and those that you are with, to be more present. I think that's good. Let's see. So Margaret is saying, I'm trying to be more patient. Yeah, patience is part of that same component. Inderkar is saying, I want to live a game like before COVID time. Okay, like again maybe. I want to live again like before COVID time. Got it. Okay. And Cassandra's saying, go slow and agonizing when, oh, that's about time. Let's see. And Margaret is saying, thank you for spending your time on this program. Well, exactly. Trying to take time to be with people in a way that you can, and give a little something if possible. And final entry here, Sandra is saying, focus in the things really important for me. Okay, yeah. All right, so we've had a great discussion. I want to thank you all for participating, and I hope that maybe our conversation has sparked some ideas for you about that last question going forward. How will you be different? What will you do differently? So I think there are many opportunities for lessons to be learned from this past year of challenge. And I hope, I pray, that the world may be better off coming out of this COVID pandemic, taking time to be more willing to understand each other and patient with each other. That would be a great outcome from this. So thank you all, and next week, as you see along the bottom, I'll have a guest. His name is Shippreet Singh. He's a wonderful musician. He's got a lot of videos on YouTube. You might want to check some of those out. And he's going to be debuting or premiering a new video, a new shabad that is in celebration of Baisakhi, which is the time that we're celebrating next week, which is the creation of the Khalsa in Sikh Dharma. So we'll be speaking with him about that and listening to his music. I hope you can join us, and stay tuned for other programming coming up every Wednesday, same time, same place. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again, and blessings to you all. May you be safe, may you be healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bless you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Satnam.